Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and as always, I welcome you to my channel. I'm grateful that you're here and you're listening and subscribing, and hopefully you're finding all of this stuff useful, and hopefully you're becoming the best version of yourself as much as possible. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about how INFJs have this weird thing about sadness. We think that sadness has a lot of beauty in it, and we love it. We like sad things. We like sad movies. I watch sad movies over and over again because I like crying over them. I like feeling that emotion of sadness. I like sad songs, and I listen to them over and over again. And when I feel my heart squeezing with sadness, I feel joy about it somehow. I probably sound like a crazy person right now. But seriously, most INFJs, or all INFJs, will tell you that they feel joy and sadness. I think that it's because, nothing has just one side to it. Everything is, two-sided. So if you have joy, you have sadness attached to it. And if you have sadness, you have joy attached to it. Like, it's all interconnected with each other, right? There's no one or the other. You can't just feel one without feeling the other. When you feel good about something, you also feel some sadness for it because it's going to end soon, or perhaps it's temporary, or because you're so lucky and you feel so grateful and you can't believe that you're so grateful, and so you feel sadness. There's always both emotions attached to everything, both sides of the emotions attached to everything. And so joy and sadness for us is very much interconnected. And every time we do anything that involves a lot of sadness, we also feel a lot of joy associated with it. That's the reason why I think we're not really good at really expressing sadness very well, because we don't express just sadness. We feel the joy associated with it as well. For example, if we're going to a funeral, when I go to a funeral, I feel obviously the sadness, yes, that the individual is gone and they're never going to be alive again, and their soul is somewhere out there doing their thing. But I also feel a lot of joy at the same time because they're on the other side. They've done this thing, they've lived their life, they lived a good life, hopefully, and now they're off to do another adventure. They're off to another adventure, and they're going to perhaps go on to another life, or perhaps they're going to come back and teach us something, or they're going to go into limbo for a little bit and learn and process all of the information they learned. So why feel sadness about that? I do feel the sadness, of course, because yes, a life has ended, but I also feel a lot of joy at the same time for that individual and for myself to witness that, because I witnessed the sadness and I witnessed the joy. That is every human life. And that's just one example. Emily is one movie that I watch over and over again because it's done very beautifully in that movie. There's a lot of sadness in there, but there's also a lot of joy associated with that sadness. And every single time I watch it, my heart squeezes with sadness. I can feel it in there. But I also feel so happy. So I might be crying and laughing at the same time. And that's what an INFJ is. I think we're not only a mass of contradiction, but we're also a mass of contradictory emotions. We're always feeling both sides of the spectrum at the same time. And that's why I think we confuse people so much, because people don't understand it. You're like, are you sad or are you happy? Like, what's going on with you right now? And that's why I don't watch sad movies or sad songs with anyone else, because they won't understand it. And I just want to feel those emotions of joy and pure sadness all at the same time without anyone looking at me like I'm crazy. Now, I know that this is probably going to come across to non-INFJs as something crazy. And that's the reason I was kind of apprehensive about doing this video, because I don't know if I can even explain it properly, the whole conundrum of feeling both sadness and joy and actually loving the emotion of sadness so much. It's so hard to explain it in words, right? It's not something that you can actually speak about. That's the reason why movies are so brilliant, or music is so brilliant, because it does that for us. That's why we love music, because it expresses this sadness and joy at the same time for us without us having to put it into words. That's why a lot of times, if you're dating an INFJ, instead of them texting you or telling them how you feel, or telling you, oh, this is how I feel, what they will do is they will send you music. They'll send you pieces of music that really express that emotion for them. It might be music without words. It might be a sonata, like a Beethoven sonata, or Beethoven. I'm not saying that right. Anyways, it might just be a piano sonata, or it might just be violins. Violins are so beautiful. They express sadness and beauty and joy so beautifully, all together, mixed in together. I love violins. Or they might send you a piece of music with words in it, and that wording it expresses their joy and their sadness at the same time for them, but it does it in a way that they could never do with words. And that's the reason doing this video is maybe perhaps a moot thing, and maybe I shouldn't even bother, but I wanted to do it because I wanted to share this with you guys, that I understand that you can feel sadness and joy at the same time as an INFJ, and it's absolutely normal, it's absolutely fine. So if you are crying and laughing at the same time because you feel both emotions at the same time, you're not crazy, it's all right. We all feel that, you know. I love it. I love the feeling of sadness sometimes because I can just sit there and just experience all the spectrums of this emotion. Because emotion is not just about experiencing happiness all the time. Yay! It's not about just rainbows all the time, right? Emotion is about experiencing the whole spectrum of things. Feeling anger and resentment and jealousy and bitterness, and then feeling joy and happiness and ecstasy and purity. Feeling all of those emotions. It's just so beautiful sometimes. It just makes me want to cry. I'm not going to cry, I promise. But that's what the whole point of an INFJ is. We are here, I think, to not only experience all of these emotions, but to express them. Now, I'm doing this video because I hope that I can explain it properly, but I'm hoping that I explain it enough that someone else out there who's not an INFJ perhaps, who doesn't feel that way, will see the beauty in expressing and experiencing all of these different emotions, specifically sadness. Again, I have done a video on anger before, and I've said this before, that I feel like there is this thing in society right now that you're only supposed to express one emotion, and that's aloofness. You're not supposed to show joy, you're not supposed to laugh, you're not supposed to be too sad, you're not supposed to show any intense emotion. The only emotion you're supposed to show is aloof. You're supposed to keep your face straight and proper and not show any emotion, and just walk around the world as if you're an automaton, a robot that doesn't really feel emotion. And I hate that because I always feel so much emotion. 1 minute I'm crying because I read something from a person, or I watched a video where a cat tries to rescue a dog or something, and I'm crying. And then the next moment I see a little baby who's trying to hug all the different people in the crowd, and I think, oh my God, I just want to die. And I'm laughing and I'm joyful and all that stuff, right? And so I want to feel all these emotions. But not only that, I want to express them. I want to show them to the world because I want everyone to feel and express their emotions. It's important. We are not automatons. Even though the school system and the workplaces and the corporate systems and capitalism and all the stupid materialistic cultures try to make us into automatons, because that's the way you want to be in the world. You don't want to be too happy, you don't want to be too sad, you don't want to cry in front of anyone, you don't want to show them anger, you just want to be silent, and you want to be cool and cold and emotionless all the time. Why did the universe give us emotions if we're not supposed to feel them? How is that a useful use of our time on this planet if we're going to pretend to be something that we're not? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. And so as an INFJ, we have this role or responsibility to show our emotions to the universe, show them as much as possible, explain to the world what emotions are all about, display it to the world, express it, show it as much as possible, throw your shoulders back and show them. And that's what I do. I laugh all the time in public, I cry all the time in public, and I don't hide it because I'm a human being and I'm supposed to be emotional, right? Especially when I feel sadness, I express it because that's what life is all about. It's about expressing yourself. It's not about hiding anything that you are, especially something so simple as an emotion. Again, I hope this makes sense to you guys. Sometimes I go into these rants and I wonder, what am I talking about? But I hope it makes sense. If you guys have any questions at all, please message me anytime. I'm here to answer your questions. If you guys have any comments, you can put them below, or if you have any suggestions for future videos, put them below. And I shall talk to you guys in the next video. Bye for now.